Okay.
All right, so welcome everyone to episode 2 of Flyside Chats, and today we have Matt Sment, and I'll let Matt introduce himself, tell us a little bit about himself. Go ahead, Matt.
Hi, my name is Matt Sment. I am the former co-owner and co-founder of Badger Tenkara, which was a small U.S.-based fixed line rod company for about 5 or 6 years, based out of Wisconsin. That amount of time, I've done a lot of instructing and writing and just kind of community organizing in the Tenkara community. And along the way, I've got some great fishing done and met some awesome people. So, yeah, that's about the short story.
So I
Yeah.
just wanted to add, someone chimed in on Facebook that me and Rob both had hats on last time, so I forgot to tell you that you're supposed to have a hat on. But
Oh my gosh.
someone chimed in that it should have been called Hat Chats.
Do you want me? I can grab a hat.
You can if you want.
I mean, yeah, give me 1 second.
All right. So while Matt's off getting his hat, I just wanted to shout out to my wife. So the first hat I had on was a brown trout knitted cap that she made for me, and this is another one that my wife made for me. This is done in like a old fashioned Steelers gold color for the Steelers. So from Pittsburgh. Um, so anyway, I don't know. I've got a couple more handmade hats and so I can keep the hat chat going for a little bit. But I asked my wife if she'd start knitting some more, and she didn't jump on that idea. So I may have to repeat the hand knitted hats as it goes along. All right, got the hat on.
Okay, I'm hatted up.
Okay,
I had to make a choice, uh, but yeah, I'm hatted up.
cool. So
Or did you mean like stocking cap?
no,
Because like
no,
I
no.
got one of those
No, I'm
too.
not. I'm not going to be a micromanager of the hats. So
Okay.
whatever you want to do. Um, so the premise, I guess, of this was in the last year. I don't have to talk about the too much. Things sort of sucked, and I just, myself just started fishing with a group of guys and two different groups, kind of, and which was new for me. I always would fish, with my dad, my stepdad, and
Mm-hmm.
so it really kind of sucked. I had trips planned with these folks and
Yeah.
a lot of other trips planned. So I don't have to get into too much detail. We all had a horrible year. But so this year, though, I think a lot of people have hope about, a lot of things being better. And one of the things,
Yes.
yeah, and one of the things that, could be better is the fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea was just to kind of talk about the new year and looking forward and what you've kind of got planned, where to go, what to use, that kind of thing. So I'll let you go ahead and start.
Right on. Well, over the last couple of years, I really had the privilege of getting some time to travel, and I got to, finally bust out of the driftless and really spend some time in the Appalachians and all over the Rockies and out to the Sierras. And spent some time in Colorado. Was going to settle there, but have bounced back to the Midwest, where, as far as I can tell, I will be here at least for the next year. And I gotta say that, like, as beautiful as the places that I explored were, I'm really excited to be back on driftless trout water this season, and really be able to fish that really hard. I think the lessons that I've learned on the mountain streams in the Appalachians and the Rockies and Sierras are really gonna drive some great fishing when I get back on the driftless spring creeks. And I'm also looking forward to the smallmouth opportunities that this area brings during the summer. So, like, I really have kind of a two priority approach this year, with trout and smallmouth, as things get like really too warm for trout to be feasible.
Cool, cool. So Um, I like to, I've got smallmouth opportunities 5 minutes from the house. And my smallmouth fishing is pretty basic, woolly
Mm-hmm.
buggers. I'll throw on I don't even use poppers, really. I'll throw on like a muddler minnow greased up, use that on the top
Mm-hmm.
of a popper or something. And even just nymphs and stuff like that. So I know I've talked with you a little bit about it before, but what are your have you taken your smallmouth angling beyond the real basic stuff? You got any?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't been able to fish it much in the last year or two. But before that, Mike Lutz and I did focus on it quite a bit. And in this area of the country, I don't think you can go wrong with a white and red streamer. Really, I mean, to really sum it up basically, and you can do what you want within that. Everyone's got their favorite streamer, but white, a little bit of silver, and red just seems to really be a consistent performer. I also like little tiny micro poppers for smallmouth, and I also like I've the past lake that you and I both share a common love for as a trout pattern. You gun that thing up to about a size 6, and I've had smallmouth just crushing that thing. My smallmouth fishing tends to be very dynamic, so a lot of streamer moving, and when the popper hits the water, I'm doing little twitches and all that. So I like something like size 6 is about where it tops out on fixed line, I think, for fun factor before you're going into like a two-handed, like almost spay streamer fishing type of thing. And don't get me wrong, Mike and I have done that too. We've probably thrown like pike flies and stuff on these rods. So check your manufacturer's warranty before you do that, kids. Uh, but I digress. Yes, streamers and kind of poppers, that top water action for that crush from the smallmouth are awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I've had like mixed results, and I don't know if it's different waters. Like the stream that's closest to me, the smallmouth max out around 15, 16 inches would be a really nice one.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are smaller than that. And I have not had much luck with big stuff at all. Like, I don't know if it's just when I happen to be out, they're just not in the mood, but I'm been using like trout,
like 12s and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly. And have like just dead drifting nymphs. That's what I have the best, most consistent, kind of luck with fishing like I'm fishing for trout. And
really?
I tried to go, yeah. So I don't know if it's just, and there's a lot of, when I turn over rocks, there's a lot of mayfly and caddis nymphs and stuff. So I don't know. Go ahead.
What time of day do you fish?
Usually it'll be in the evening,
Yeah, I mean, because like typically I found that 4 or 5 o'clock onto that evening cool off before the sun goes down is usually the most productive here because they really like to warm up. But
yeah, I'll admit I'm not like a identifying where they are and stuff. I'm pretty basic with that. It seems like sometimes I can't find, I don't know where the hell they are.
Yeah, we've run into that too. Like even up into parts of July, sometimes it seems that they still haven't like kind of moved out of wintering positions, depending on like kind of what the rain and the temperatures have done. But a couple of seasons when we were really trying to focus on them, it got really hard because it's like they're not there until they're everywhere. And they're just hard, kind of like after that you're good. From what I've read, and anyone's free to correct me if my understanding of this is wrong, but from what I've read, smallmouth actually kind of migrate over the course of the year, like up to 20, 30 miles up and down systems based on their winter and summer positions. So, I think a big part of being able to find the fish is trying to nail those seasonal movements and positionings of the fish. And that's a step further than the like how is the fish relating to the rocks level of water. It's that larger watershed interaction.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that about them, but I definitely have I know they're moving around because I can't find them sometimes, and other times they're just no trouble finding them.
Well, even if I'm wrong on that, it makes a great excuse when we don't catch fish. So
yeah.
Keep that in your pocket.
What kind of waters are you fishing smallmouth out there? Big streams, small streams? What kind of?
Both. So, I mean, you've been into the driftless and you've seen kind of like the average driftless trout stream. And Mike and I, through some very extensive scouting, have found some smallmouth streams that are like those beautiful little, like 10, 15 foot wide driftless trout streams, except they're just warm enough that they have smallmouth in them. Then further down, I'll just say generally in the southwest corner of the state of Wisconsin, there's just two or three like really big, well, for I wouldn't say really big. I'm not going to try to get into classifying the size of rivers, but
Yeah.
there's two or three good sized drainages in the state, good rivers that are more of a, I'd say, 50 to in some places 75-foot wide. But yeah, so we've got our choice, and then you can even step up to like big water, like out on the Wisconsin River. If you get out there with a canoe or with a guide, then there's some great guides in the area that'll just put you on bass all day. And out there, the average ones are 12, 14 inches, and you're pushing up closer to 20 when the epic ones come along. And that's a different story out there. You need a larger, what I would consider a fixed line rod versus a Tenkara rod on that
Yeah.
type of water. But
So are you mostly using fixed line stuff when you're when
yeah, I almost 95% of my fishing is fixed line, whether it's more of a Tenkara oriented flex and light line and wet fly, or just throwing crazy stuff at bass and pike with a larger, more robust rod. Uh, but yeah, and I keep telling myself I'm interested in that finesse spinning stuff that Chris Stewart's been praising for the last couple of years and is trying to turn people on to. I'm really interested in that. So that might be in my future as some sort of. It's just weird and niche enough to get my interest.
So I think that went in a pretty interesting direction. I like that we talked about smallmouth fishing, and I didn't,
Well, cool. Yeah, I enjoyed the conversation.